What is going on, podcast listeners? What is going on, everybody out there in the YouTube world? We are live on Twitch. We are live on Facebook. And we are hanging out today for another podcast episode. This is Out of Bounds with your host, Cubs Fan 004. How are y'all doing today? And I have a special guest, none other than the man himself, Abstrakt Sonance. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Loving this warm weather, early spring. It's been pretty sick out here.
Honestly, I could say the same about Iowa, because right now, it's weird because it almost flip of a switch, like a light switch almost. Like it just went bitter cold and now it's 50 degrees. Like what?
Yeah, mad. I got so lucky. I was away for a month in New Zealand and Australia and got back 2 weeks ago and just missed like the minus 30 Celsius madness. And now it's just pure chill and enjoyable.
No shit. Me and my partner were just watching a series called Alone Australia, and there was it's a bunch of these fucking people that go out in like the most southern part of Australia, the Tasmanian area, and they feed off the land. They build in the land. They try to live off of it, and they've been there for almost a month.
Crazy. Yeah, I've seen different. It was like Alone Alaska or something, but
yeah, they have
Australia one would be gnarly.
Dude, I've seen a few of the other ones, and like this one is like it's different because like that land is crazy. Like just nothing but
I don't know where they're located. Yeah, exactly. It's so sparse.
Just so sparse. The land is weird. It's like you can barely get fish. There was people in there that almost didn't eat for a month.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, they're fucking crazy. But yeah, back to topic at hand. Our friend here has just gotten back from playing in Australia, playing in New Zealand. If you guys don't know him, he's a electronic dance music producer, DJ, so on and so forth. Some people, in my niche are not familiar with you. So that is part of the reason why, I want to give a proper introduction. You've been working with the likes of Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. You've been working with fucking Flowdan. Like, yeah. What in the world, man? That is crazy to think about. Especially now. And I want everybody to like get familiar with you. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to like explain, because like I told you, not all of my audience is into bleep bloop music like we are. And
I like to call my stuff more subwoofer oriented than the bleep bloops, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's more of like a just a lameness term or something like that.
I know. So yeah, call it Wookiee music, whatever, it's got
whatever your parents would call it. They call every single a video game console on Nintendo or something.
Yeah.
But for those that aren't familiar with you, how did you get into the world of electronic music and, subwoofers, working with the likes of Flowdan, working with, being able to travel around the world and, do what you love to do for a living?
Yeah, it's a blessing for sure. I mean, like, it started off in 2009. I didn't make music until I was 20 years old and had some crazy life stuff happen to me and just switched up my path real quickly, and then started making music, made hip hop for 2 years, and then learned about electronic music through Shambhala mostly. And then
that's a common thing for a while.
The scene and the community. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no. And that's, I mean, I'm kind of in the same breath because like the EDM, the EDM scene, a lot of the scene, I would not have a lot of things in my life if it wasn't for electronic music. I wouldn't if it
It's
wasn't for electronic
crazy.
music. If it wasn't for electronic music, I wouldn't know Anna. If it wasn't for electronic
Yeah,
music, I wouldn't have known you. I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
totally. I would say
Absolutely.
the vast majority of my friends I've made through music. It's a beautiful thing. It's like a cohesive passion that we all have together, and it's so niche and underground that like the passion that we have is just like pulls us together so hard because it's like, yeah, you get it, you get it.
Yeah, yeah. And shit, I wouldn't even know my partner that I live with if it wasn't for
No,
electronic music. Yeah, and it's a
never.
fucking beautiful thing. So like I always love going to like talking to other producers to like understand where they started and like the deeper meaning of their story, because everybody has a story to tell, and I would love
Totally.
and I love, being able to amplify, you know, your story.
Yeah.
When you like started learning more about producing, what made you want to start like doing it for a living? Like start like
Uh,
making money off
I
of
mean,
it.
it was always just like a passion thing. Like when I was younger, I was into doing some like not so good things, just like dropped out of high school, was hustling, getting into some pretty gnarly stuff. I got jumped and stabbed twice. My buddy got shot in the head, and I got robbed and hogtied and just like all this crazy shit, even before still in my teens. And then like, as soon
Damn.
as and then I had a heart attack at 19. And so I actually got 45 staples that held all of my, I don't know if you can see it. I got
Holy
like the neck,
shit. Holy.
neck to belly button thing open, all my ribs, detached from my sternum. And it was kind of like a rude awakening, a near death experience when I was young. So I was like, needed to change up my path. And when I was making lots of money doing all that stupid stuff, I would just buy like 10 CDs a day sometimes, always down at the HMV. I was on Amazon just ordering stuff, always a music head. So when I was recouping from the heart attack, I had 6 months I wasn't able to do anything, was basically bedridden. And then my buddies borrowed me a computer. And on the computer, there was GarageBand. So I just started tinkering around and making beats with GarageBand. And then I became like overly obsessed, kind of like what I do with anything I do in life. And it just turned from, I became sober for 3 years, and I'd still go out and party and hang with people and girls and whatnot. But I literally just sat in the house for the next couple of years, just making beats every day. Started working in a kitchen and was a cook. But I was lucky because I could listen to my music when I was in the kitchen. So I would be like straight up smashing like a whiteout line, like just so many bills and orders. Me listen to my tunes I made earlier that week and then be like writing down on a notepad, oh, that snare's too loud. Oh, maybe you could write a melody here. So it was so like all enveloping that even when I was working my 9 to 5, I was still grinding on the music itself. So the passion just kind of took hold with it. And then I think it was 2013, I had my first Europe tour. And it was crazy because like I hadn't even been booked at Shambhala yet. I hadn't been booked at much stuff in Canada, but I got booked in Prague with Zed's Dead.
Ooh.
And then
Ooh.
yeah, like what a good start to international touring. And then I got booked in Berlin with Truth. So that's where I met Truth in 2013. Then I had a solo headline show in Brighton in England. So after that,
Damn.
I've had 10 Europe tours in the last, I guess, 11 years. And I was going like 1 to 2 times a year. And then obviously COVID happened, but my
Yeah.
market was basically picked up over there just because I was making the more heady, rootsy stuff that North America hadn't quite got onto yet, which is now quite prevalent over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of the journey of everything. Like wanting to do it for a living. I mean, it was basically like I've always kind of been an entrepreneur and grinded, always been self employed. I don't know, 95% of my life of living on my own. So when I started gaining a bit of traction, and I was like a hip hop producer for 2 years first. So I had a bunch of hip hop clients. I built a studio in my trailer. I recorded bands. I did mix downs. I did everything but mastering. Yeah, beats for hip hop people, and I actually like started a label. I was kind of dumb. It was like wasn't the right time in my life. I was trying to help people, but I really just hindered them because I didn't have the traction myself to get their music in all the ears that I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had just like 10 different pies in the oven making my income source for music. So I eventually just worked less and less in the kitchen until in 2013, after my Europe tour, I was able to quit my job and make music full time for a living.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that brings me to like my next question too, because like I asked the same like question to my last artist I had on my podcast, and it's this. Was there was there a specific like point in time in like your producing career, your music career, that where it really hit in your head and you were telling yourself, damn, I can really do something with this. Like this is really going somewhere, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I battle what probably most artists battle, and it's just like questioning everything and a lack of self confidence. So, like, some days the world's, I feel like it's at my beckoning, and then at other days I still question my existence. Like, even still now to this day, it's such a trippy head mess. But yeah, there wasn't just this time like, oh yeah, this is gonna be it. I kind of just have a bit of a confident attitude, knowing that anything I do, I'm gonna succeed at. Don't know how quick it's gonna be, but I have that determination, the grind, and all that. So if I put my mind to something, I feel like I'll be able to get there eventually. So that's kind of just been my mentality with things. But yeah, there wasn't like any breaking points.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. It
I
just
got
like,
to work with a lot of cool artists, and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like we just talked about earlier. And it's, you know, some people, go through it differently. You're like, it over time it happened for you. For some people it just like clicks you at one point. I've had different answers for that question. So it's like,
Yeah, and with certain people too, like they'll have a tune and that tune blows up, and then all of a sudden their career is changed for the rest of their life. Whereas with me, like, I've never really had those moments. I've had some songs that have like made some major impacts, but like there's this one with Flowdan called Firing Line that I made, and I'm like, oh, this one's gonna be it, and every DJ that plays it loves it. Everyone that hears it on the dance floor loves it, but it just didn't gain that viral traction. And so many times I've made tunes thinking those tunes are going to do quite well, and then they don't do as well. And then tunes that I don't think are going to do well. And just basically what has reiterated to me at the end of the day is just make art for making art. Even if you have a purpose for the song, like, oh, I want this to be a ambient one for people to sleep to, or I want this to be a dance floor banger. You can still have intent behind stuff, but like, just always do you and always make art from you, because that's like the most valuable thing that you could do as an artist, whatever art it is. Like, we're all unique individuals. We all got different things that inspire us that we picked up from the world. So just like put out the most truest stuff from you, and you're doing the best value to this world with your existence as an artist.
hell yeah. I I I'm speechless to that, because that you just hit the nail on the head, my friend. That is the truest thing anyone really has said on this podcast. And I've been doing this podcast since 2016. So it
Sweet.
um well, and it almost seems like, well, no, it doesn't seem like it is the fact that like putting so much time into the music really like saved your life in a sense, because like
100%. Yeah.
it made it brought you to a different place. It brought you to a better place. And like, obviously, yeah, you talk about how, you're going out and partying with everybody, but like you're not, destroying yourself because you got to have a limit.
Totally.
Yeah, you got to have a limit. So, but when you put so much passion into something, it can really like change your life for the better. And that everything you just said now really, really exemplifies that. And And I see that, and I'm really moved by that. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
coming from, yeah.
And it's like whatever you have to in life, it's like just passions are very important. It's always good to have hobbies and things that fill your soul. It's so easy to get lost in the rat race and get lost with materialistic stuff and stuff that, like, it's a never ending search to fill a void that will never be filled. But really, if we find passions and hobbies and things that fill our cup, if we can try to put as much time into that, whether it's hiking or gardening or hanging with friends, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
painting, so just part of being lucky, being in a first world where, of course, the ability to survive and be financially stable nowadays is harder than ever in my 35 years of life. But still, we're lucky enough that we're not like scrounging to get water out of a ditch or fucking feeding our starving babies. Like, we have these
Yeah.
social programs, blah, blah, blah. Like, so being in a first world really gives us the ability to be able to find our hobbies and pursue them. Whether or not they make it for a living, that should never be the purpose. We should just do it because we love it. And if it makes a living, it's a blessing. And it could be a cursing at the same time, because with doing something that you're passionate about for a living, there becomes this expectation to provide. And then that can sometimes hinder the love for it. Like, sometimes this is work, but
Yeah. Was there ever a point where that, like, you've done producing so much that, like, it, like, the love is kind of like so fading away in some way, or like, let me
not per
put it in,
se.
yeah,
Yeah.
let me put it into like better terms. Burnout is a better term.
Burnout. Yeah, I mean, being in the studio is probably my number one favorite thing to do in existence. So I never have studio burnout. I could be in here 10 hours a day, 365, like, there's always something to work on. If you don't have an idea, you can just tinker around and do sound design or write drum loops. There's always something that you can be crafting and improving your tools in your tool belt for whenever you do want to compose. But I never burn out from producing per se. Now, in the switch of things, like when I wasn't as successful with touring and making my own independent income, like I was selling beats to rappers and recording people. And now that really was a job at times, because there would be some rappers that I just didn't like them, didn't like their art, this, that. And then it becomes a bit of a grueling, daunting task. Then you got deadlines and you got to do stuff there. So I guess when I do certain things, like I did some sync work for like movies and commercials and stuff. So some of that's like more daunting, draining, but like when it just comes to making beats, like I absolutely love it.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And like, and well, a lot of people in chat can definitely resonate with you right now, because they're like, he's a real G, man is full of love. Whatever he
Big up the
touches
chat.
turns to
Big up.
gold due to the love that goes into whatever he does. So,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Oh, bless you all. That's epic. Filling my heart.
Oh, you're feeling the man's heart, guys.
Yeah.
Shifting focus. It's, you get all of these big opportunities, and going off to Europe. That is insane to think about. But I can imagine going off to Europe is also how, you got the opportunity to work with a man by the name of Flowdan. And and it, like, being me, like, I had heard of you, but I never, I never dug deep on the research until I did this podcast. Because obviously, if I'm going to come in and do this podcast chat, I'm going to do the research. I'm going to do everything I can. And so that way I come in. But I didn't know you did any work with him, and that is incredible. And now you've got him winning Grammys, for fuck's sake. Like, what in the world?
So proud of him. He's probably my most accomplished friend in the music scene so far. It's like, he's always been a Don. He's always been the leader of, the underground scene, but he's really just taken like a next level blow up in the last couple of years. And it was super cool. Like, I actually met him in Edmonton, Canada. So I played a show for UGK there, or UBK, sorry, and United Bass Collective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
played a show and we're just chilling in the backstage, and we're just talking about basketball. And he's like, "Man, I got no basketball friends out in England." I'm like, "I don't have any here." He's like, all my cool friends play football." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's funny how basketball just like not too many people, like, I play in a league in Vernon once a week, and it's all like cops or like, I don't know, squares, like kind of squares,
Yeah, yeah,
like you
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. I get what
nothing
you're
to
saying. Yeah.
can't relate with. And there's cool people that play basketball, but it's far few. So we just had this bonding experience, just chatting ball, and just like really became friends that night. And then I got his number, and he hit me up like a week later, and he's like, "Yo, let's write an EP." And then we'll just be sending stuff back, and I think this is 2017. We'll just be sending stuff back and forth on WhatsApp, and like literally he'd be like, "Oh, that's too generic, like get weirder with it." And I'd send it to him, he'd send me a vocal note. I'm like, "Dope, but like try singing a harmony over that." I'm like, "Give me 7 more layers of that harmony." And we just pushed each other to make like super cool, unique art. He's like, "I don't want to make generic bangers with you. Like, we just got 2 minds that can do some cool stuff." So we ended up just vibing, and we wrote 4 EPs within 3 years, and a couple singles on top of that, and we got a remix album done for I can't even, Antisocial was the
Oh.
tune.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then what was it? What year was this? This was a couple of years ago. He ended up hitting me up. I was on tour in Europe, and he's like, "Bro, you're over here. You got to come see me." And he flew me out to his house, and we ended up going and playing basketball in the gym together, and like with all of his homies, and got to like really have a bonding experience on the court there. And that was sick, like meeting people with the same passions. And literally flew to his place, played ball that night, and then we go back to his house and we wrote a whole tune that night. And like went in his studio, started a beat right from scratch. We both wrote the beat together. He wrote the lyrics, we recorded it. And then I was at his house for 5 days, and we wrote 4 songs. So that's a EP that hasn't touched. So I got a bunch of dubs waiting for that one to come out.
Mm.
But with his new trajectory, everything has to be meticulously executed and planned. So
Yeah, no, that's
so that's
understandable.
100%, yeah. But it's kind of nice to have be sitting on these dubs for like a whole year, because it's like nice to get them out in the world, but at the same time, it's also nice to be like,
Like,
"You can't have this."
banger. Yeah, here you go. Banger. Here you go. Banger.
Totally.
Mouse says you are also OCD, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
OCD, ADHD. I'm all the acronyms. I'm the acronym king.
Yeah. ADHD brethren, high five.
Yeah.
But no, that's just like crazy to think about, man. Like you make big moves when it comes to music, and you never know who you're going to meet at the end of the day. So it's
Totally.
yeah. And
It's all just being real too. You meet so many people that are trying to like clout chase, or like I'll be in a room and like people straight up ignore me, and then someone's like, "Oh, it's abstract," and they treat you different, and all just this whack unreal stuff. And I think that's the thing that's been my most beneficial attribute, is just being real all the time, being weird, quirky, not giving a shit who's who, just treating everyone good, and just like being I don't know what the word is, just like you're unforgivably yourself or whatever.
Yourself. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like you don't want to just be talking somebody talking to you just because who you are,
just to gain access into their thing, and like vice versa. Like people can sniff that out in 2 seconds. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like honestly, like that's why I never like go into anything when I like talk to anybody in the scene. Like I talked to Anna because I met Anna through mutual friends, and now like I told you off stream earlier, I got the opportunity to be like, hey, you got people that want to tell their story, throw them my way, and then now I'm meeting you and we're just shooting the shit right now.
Totally natural sequence of events, and then that will just trickle down the line, because if I got homies, link them up with you, and so on and so forth. Oh,
Mm,
that's good coffee. I got my own
mm.
coffee brand, by the way.
Oh, no shit. Yeah,
Yeah, a little
hey,
plug, a little plug
hey,
there.
yeah, hey. You can plug all you want, my man. We'll even even at the end, man. We're gonna have a plug fest. Okay, you plug everything.
Okay, sick. I'm gonna give me 1 sec. I'm gonna grab a bag just to show it.
Yeah, do it, do it quick, chat. We'll just edit this part out, but he'll be quick. Oh, that was quick.
It
Let's
was, it
go.
was, it was quick. My house is tiny. Yeah, here it is. Abstract blends, medium dark roast, organic, fair trade, all the good stuff. So yeah, I ship worldwide. If anyone wants, you can hit me up. I've had this for I think 7 years or so. It's going
Hell
strong.
yeah. That's amazing. I had no idea about that. Even with my research, I didn't even know that. So you
Means I'm
learn
not
every
doing a good job of getting it known, but
well, there's ways. You can figure out ways, you know. So
I'm a
that's
smart boy. I can figure it out. I just got to put effort in.
yeah, but also you know, never hurts to have somebody to help you. Wink wink. Um
Ooh, let's go.
yeah. Um, but let's shift gears into like the next topic I would want to get into, and that's just the scene as a whole, because like ever since COVID, ever since COVID has really like done a number on the scene. And it's still like even if it's like 5 years later, it's still like showing its effects. And like even you like talk just were talking about earlier that like it is you went almost what 3 years without touring because of COVID.
Yeah,
Holy
totally.
shit. But like um do you see that continuing for a while now, or is there going to be like a light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of like promoters, you know, festivals? Because obviously we've seen a lot of struggle going on. Maybe not necessarily artists, but you know, the independent promoters, the independent people running shows, stuff like that. So
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know how doom and gloom to get there. Like, it's an underground culture, so it's always going to exist. It's always going to have some capability of thriving and moving forward, pushing through stuff, being resilient. But with COVID alone, we have like now we have 3 generations or like 3 years of people that came out of high school that didn't get used to socializing. They just sat in their house. So they didn't get introduced to the festival scene and going out to gigs and stuff. And not only does that affect those 3 years, but if they have younger brothers or sisters or whatever, well, now they're not introducing them to it as well. So when they hit 25 and their sister's graduating, like it's not a part of their life. So it's going to be less likely that they're going to show and inspire other people. Cause like I know for me growing up, all the older kids were just like Shambhala, oh, like
yeah.
sound systems. And, so it's been like a generational pass down type of thing. So, I mean, that has a massive effect there, which I feel. And then also, the economy, of course. Like, I think since COVID, everything in Canada is double in price. Like, from gas to food to everything. It's actually crazy, the cost of living. And the wages haven't gone up with that. So that means people have less money to spend on enjoyment and things they like and expendable income and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't see the economy bouncing back anytime soon, sadly. So,
Yeah, for a multitude of
I think
reasons.
yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of been such a trip in the evolution of things. And I mean, life never stays the same. It's always evolving. You'd like to think it's always getting better, but we're just going to have to roll with the punches and stay strong. Everyone's going to have to work together. Like I always try to go into gigs being like, okay, I want the promoter to make money. I want the club to make money. I want to make money. Like I'm not just going to go and gouge everyone for every last penny and have the promoter flop and die out. And so it's like we all got to kind of work on this together to make it sustainable and doable.
Yeah, and so you would see like, you know, a future, still a bright future in the scene, even with, even with everything going on.
Oh yeah, like I mean, underground culture is underground culture. It's like graffiti or skateboarding. It's like it's dancing, it's tribal, it takes us back to our roots, whether we're conscious of it or not. It's something that's within us. And yeah, I can never see it going away. I can see it going through turmoil. Like with COVID, a lot of the promoters died off, a lot of the clubs died off. But with that being said, also I've seen an insane resurgence of new promoters, young kids building sound systems, pushing all this stuff. So when one falls off, there's always something to replace it, I find. So I don't think we're in any desperation at the moment. It's just a bit of a struggle. But I mean, the whole world's in a bit of a struggle right now. So
Yeah, you are not wrong about that at all.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a big struggle, and obviously, we could go more in depth on that, but this is not the place for that.
So we just gotta love each other, support each other, and just love is the answer. Just
Love is the
keep
fucking
it
answer.
going.
Yeah,
Totally.
absolutely. Well, how did it feel being able to go out and like do the thing you love the most, but out in one of the biggest bass festivals in North America, in Lost Lands?
Oh, Lost Lands. Yeah, well, that was a sick experience. That was an honor to be booked there. I mean, I had a daytime set on the last day. I think I started a stage, so the people slowly trickled in. It was like, playing for such a massive festival. It wasn't quite the response I wanted, but at the same time too, I was up till who knows o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I wouldn't even make my set if I'm
Honest
playing
to
it, so I'm
God.
making it. But hell, like I would be sleeping right now. Shit. So
But let's be honest here. In Lost Lands, who the fuck is sleeping?
totally.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it was sick. The sound systems were insane. The stage, I've never seen production value like that. And I usually go to the more heady type of shows and festivals, and I kind of had like, yeah, I just didn't know what to expect rolling up, and everyone was extremely friendly. It was like the crowd and just like everyone out there was just like, that I hate being cheese with it, but that plur, but it's good. Like plur, peace, love, unity, respect. I think is like fuck, man. Everyone was dope.
Well,
And it was cool because what's that? Sorry.
You also got a chance to play a brand new stage that
Yes.
nobody had. That was the first year that they came around, so that was also probably a good experience in itself.
Yeah, that was just an honor, and it was even more cool because my friend Liz from Bass Coast and Willis and Adrienne, a bunch of people, Andy, they're all building the stage and part of the crew. So it was crazy to have like my Canadian homies that were building it, and it was like completely unrelated to me being booked there, but it was cool to get there and be like, "Yo, my people." So that was an honor.
Yeah, hell yeah. And not to mention the fact that most recently you just came back from Denver, Meow Wolf, and
Jeez.
I saw. Okay, we talked about it earlier because I'm good friends with Malcolm Medicine Place, so and I know he was playing there too. I saw the videos. That looked incredible. I can only imagine how it felt being able to play in front of a crowd like that.
Yeah, and in a venue like that, that's possibly the coolest place I've ever played. I've played some sweet places like the Cross Club in Czech Republic. You got to look up that one. That's a very similar vibe, but more like punk, steampunk style. But yeah, just the venue itself was so epic. Like you could spend days there and not see everything. It was so scary because it was so chaotic and hard to navigate that every artist had their own artist liaison on call. So before our set, like we call them like, "Yo, I don't know where I am. I can't find the stage." So it was just crazy in that aspect, and it was just you were like, I wanted to just go there to see it. Everyone should go to Meow Wolf. They have a few like in Las Vegas and I think San Diego.
They do.
But like it's seriously mind blowing. It's so sick the amount of effort and stuff gone into that, and then to top it off, Truth brought in a sound system. they did it themselves. So like we had like proper sound in there to top it off. And yeah, it was
I,
a sold out crowd. So just the vibe was like immense.
that is incredible. That is incredible.
In the room,
What were you saying?
oh, the room that I played in had 3 stories as well. It was like open floor. So like you just
Mm-hmm.
look up and there'd be like a balcony of people and another balcony and stalactites, stalagmites, a tree from like Avatar and jellyfish and crazy creatures. And it was just like some fantasy world. It was so sick.
Hell yeah, that is fucking sick. I can only imagine being able to play in a place like that with how it looks. I looked up Cross Club while you were talking, and
Cool.
whoa, that is
It's another spectacle. It
that
is,
is a
yeah.
spectacle in and itself, chat. Oh
To-
my lord.
totally.
I will everybody that's on YouTube, I will make sure to put this in the edit and show it off because it is pretty. It is beautiful. And golly, I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, it's just like crazy art installations all within the place. Like I've been there, I don't know, 7, 8 times I've played there, and every time I go, there's something new, some upgrades, some cool new piece of art, and it's crazy. And I don't know how it is now. It used to be open up for like 72 hours straight over the weekend, and there's a cafe in there, so you can go and you can get like food and burgers or coffees and pizza.
Jesus, that's
And
amazing.
the Czech Republic has the best beer in the world too. So you just got like they have some unfiltered beer. I forget what it's called, but it's like oh, their beer game's insane. One of my favorite beers still is the Pilsner Urquell. You can buy it over here in cans, but it doesn't taste as good as it coming right out of the country. And I've played in Pilsen where the brewery is, and I've got to go on a brewery tour there.
Yeah.
I like my beer.
You like your beer? Chat is also talking about how the fact that when you came back from New Zealand, that was the first time you were able to go out there, correct?
No, that was my second New Zealand tour.
Oh, that's amazing. But
First time in Australia, but
first time in Australia. I can only imagine. Dimension Festival in New Zealand. Say people are saying nothing but good things in about that festival.
Yes. Yeah, that one was epic. It was crazy because the base stage shut down I think at 4 or 5 in the morning, and then they had a stage for like all weekend that was just psytrance. So that was my
Holy
only
shit.
complaint. If I can even just like, oh god, you're trying to go to bed in your tent, just like
it's like
wake up,
give me some earplugs, please.
Straight. Oh man, I had like crazy construction ones, you know, like those like thick foamy ones, and barely even know. But no, it was in beautiful land there. I played in another one called Quaddy Quakes, and that one was just immaculate. And New Zealand's a big sound system culture community. Every festival I went to, every stage was some random one-off home-built sound system. Like at Quaddy Quakes, it was the PDC sound system. And then at Dimension, I played on Boom Candy. I forget the name of the other stage I didn't play on. And then there was at Rolling Hertz, the Tubbs Audio I played on. And just, oh my, all the sounds, like these systems were banging so good. The sound engineers ran them so well. And the New Zealand dubstep culture is like probably the complete opposite of the North American. Like they love just pure subs and drums. It was just like tribal fire dancing, like even like Page Julia to Truth, and Ashes is usually a bit more diverse in his sound, but like he still just brought crazy deep stuff. And at Dimension, or actually at Rolling Hertz, me, Ashes, Page Julia, and Truth all went back to back for an hour at the end of the DDD takeover. So that was legendary.
Oh my fucking god. I'm jelly.
Yeah, it was psycho. It was psycho.
Oh, that is fucking psycho. Before we talked about it earlier, but before we get into like those rapid fire questions I told you about, I'm gonna ask you one big last question, and this is a question directed more towards like anybody that's wanting to be, you know, in your position, be a producer, be somebody that can work and do their passion for a living. What is one of the biggest pieces of advice you could give to somebody that is trying to make a living off of what they love, like music, for instance?
Yeah, I guess the first thing is like diversify and get your ego out of the way and just kind of roll with where things head. So like I said earlier about when I was first starting to do it for a living, like I had 10 pies in the oven at all time. I was making beats for people. I had a recording studio. I was doing mix downs for people. I had so many different pieces of merchandise, selling songs through like Bandcamp and Beatport, and then touring gigs. And then I also put on shows. So this was probably one of the most beneficial things because a lot of people just take from the industry. And I put on shows in this tiny little town. And it gave me such a good opportunity to network and to meet people I wouldn't normally because they're just coming through, playing my shows. And then you make this great friendship and connections. So if you're trying to do it for a living, try to like diversify and have a bunch of different streams of income. And then eventually when something starts to become a bit more abundant in the financial sector for you, you can kind of let the other pieces of the pie that don't quite fill your soul as much go, and then put the energy towards where things are making sense. And oh yeah, that's it. I had one more thing on that, but my brain just had a hard stop there.
No, it's all good. I've been there. From one ADHD brother to another, I understand that. Sometimes we just sit there and we have a thought, and then all of a sudden, you know that old sound when AOL was trying to connect.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what your brain. That's pretty much what your brain was just doing. But okay, let's move on over to the rapid fire questions I talked to you about, and
Cool.
and then we'll end it from there because this has been a great conversation with you, buddy.
Absolutely.
It's very easy to talk to you, and I'm really enjoying it. I really am.
It's mutual.
Thank you, man. If there was one festival that you've never played before, that you would like to play, what would it be?
Oh, what's that drum and bass festival that's in Bali and Mexico?
I can do some research real quick.
Tulum. Oh yeah, what is it? It's from Tulum. That's the one.
Okay, let me.
Two.
Locust?
And a Locust Festival, that's the one.
Yeah, Locust Drum and Bass. Oh shit.
I'm back now.
Okay, yeah. My bad.
Yeah. No, it's my camera froze there for a second. I'm glad I noticed. I just had to close and open. But yeah, Locust Festival. That one just to be in the jungle and the vibes of all that. I want to play Soundhaven. I would really like to go to Infrasound again. I've played Infrasound before though.
That's just nothing but good vibes up there. I need to go to Infrasound.
Yeah, that one's one of my favorite, like vibe-wise, music-wise. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. All right, here's the big one. If there was one artist you would like to collab with on a song, who would it be and why?
One? Hard to pick one, but I guess Culprit. I'll go with Culprit.
Culprit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's just such a creative musical mastermind, just always does this thing. He's so unique. Sound design is on a next level. So much emotion and feel in his stuff, and his full-length album projects are just mind-blowing. Damn. So yeah, Culprit would be the one.
Heck yeah. Is there any regrets in your life? Do you have any regrets?
Yeah.
That's a very broad question, but
it's funny. Well, because short story, going through a heartbreak right now. So I have some regrets in my head. Wish I could do this, wish I could do this to save the relationship. So I'm going through this weird mental turmoil. But usually when I'm in a good mind state, I say I don't have regrets because I try to learn from everything that I am not proud of or embarrassed of. So in essence, no, there's no regrets, because as long as you learn something from that in the situation, you shouldn't regret it, because it was a life lesson to teach you stuff. So even though I preach and try to practice that, yes, I'm going through this weird emotional turmoil right now where I am feeling sadness and regret, but I'm sure give me a couple months and I'll be rebuild myself and I won't regret those things anymore. But in the moment, you know, sometimes you kind of can be a hypocrite of your philosophies.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody in chat's like, he needs to stop being a, oh, Jesus. Chat's being ruthless on you.
Yes, let's go. Let's go. Just a baby.
I regret not knowing you earlier in my life. Aw.
Oh, sweetie pies. Oh man, no, I need the hard truth. I need the hard shit. I don't have friends in my life that are like, yeah, it's okay. They're just like, no, you fuck up. Fucking own your shit. Let's go. So, and that's also why I don't have many friends, because not many people can handle that shit. Like my boy Cold Cuts, Melissa, Anna, all the best are just not there to bootlick. They're like, yo, homie, like, check yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, homie.
That's it. That's it.
All right. Well, we've had a great conversation, man, and I definitely think we've hit a good stopping point. Any final thoughts for everybody out there? And
No.
obviously you can also plug everything you possibly can.
Yes, well, playing Victoria this weekend, the next weekend in Revelstoke, the weekend after in Kelowna, and then the end of May, I am playing Deep Roots Festival. So just lots of shows. Keep up on the social. I got tons of shows coming up, tons of stuff. My music release radar is psychotic. I can't even start to plug that, but like, got a full length album coming out this year, a few EPs, a couple grime EPs.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm busy man, always in the studio.
Yeah, whenever you come closer to Iowa, man, I'm gonna bring my partner. We'll grab Anna and we'll come see you.
Yes, sick.
Yeah.
And I guess the shameless plug again, my coffee.
Yeah.
Abstrakt Blends.
Blends, everybody. Make sure you go check that out. I will make sure to link everything he has over on the YouTube. I'll make sure to link it on Spotify. Every part of this episode will be available on there. We'll have short clips on TikTok, everywhere. Make sure you follow me on my socials, CupsFan004. Make sure you follow the homie Abstrakt over on all his socials. Keep up with him. Make sure you go see him live anytime. Sub to your stream. Thanks for having Tyler on. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming here. You guys kept the flow going. Shout out to Twitch. Everybody in the Twitch chat, shout out to everybody that is over on the Facebook chat. You guys made it to the end of this podcast, and we, including me and Tyler, very much appreciate that. And if you made it to the end of this over on YouTube, thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Thank you for being a part of Tyler's journey, and we appreciate you. Love you all. And this episode will be available everywhere you can find podcasts. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever. And if you would like to show more support, here's my shameless plug. Go over to my CupsFan004.com and you can get all podcasts, all videos from me early for $1 a month. Go check it out. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for coming on, Tyler. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so much fun, dude. Thank you. Yeah. Symmetry says,
big up to everyone in the chats. Oh, I love you, Symmetry. Oh, yeah, I miss you, homie. Just had a good time with her in Australia.
Let's go. All right. Appreciate you all. This has been Out of Bounds with CupsFan004. Take it easy, y'all.